Hey everybody, welcome to Ticket Stubs and Popcorn. I'm Peter.
And I'm Frank. How you doing?
And today, hey, I'm doing all right.
Hi.
Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
Doing okay. Who are we talking about today? I know who we're talking about today. I asked.
Yeah, he asked. I don't know, because we've already done
I
our
know.
homework.
Yeah.
Today's featured actor is Steve Carell.
Steve Carell. He's fantastic. Love him.
I do. I love him too.
Something to talk about at the end when we're done talking about Steve.
Okay.
I'm going to totally just geek out here a little bit because I'm wearing a Flash t-shirt. What's your favorite Star Wars planet?
Favorite planet in the Star Wars
Yeah,
galaxy.
so think about that.
Okay.
And now tell me about Steve Carell.
All righty. Want me to start? Steve Carell, tremendous actor, wonderful comedian, can easily go.
Did he ever do stand-up? Was he a stand-up guy?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think he may have been in those improv groups. And
Yeah.
that could have been, you know, how he
Yeah.
started getting
But I
into
don't
sketch
I
and this
can't
sort
think
of
of
stuff.
ever.
Yeah,
seen him, like, doing stand-up.
I've never seen or heard
Yeah.
that if he did. But really, he can do comedy so easily and do drama
Yeah.
so easily, both. So I'm going to start off with first pick. It's a movie called Foxcatcher. It's
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe 6-7 years by now. Time flies. But
That was his prosthetic movie.
yeah, he had a little bit of a nose.
Yeah.
And a little some yeah.
Yeah. Did he get nominated for that?
I think he did.
I think he did, too.
I think he did. This was actually a case that I knew about. Knew pretty well because there are a few sports that I follow more than others, and there was a time when I was very interested in boxing, but also like amateur wrestling. There were some other worlds in there that I was interested in.
So mostly things with sweaty men together and some
Don't
grasping
judge.
stuff.
Don't judge.
I'm not judging. I'm just clarifying for the people.
Wow.
Go ahead.
So I knew and followed the situation as it was unfolding when it really did happen. There's a situation, and it's a pretty unique situation. Here's this fabulously wealthy man, John DuPont, from that DuPont family out of Delaware. And he was able to build, in real life, but as portrayed by Steve Carell, he's able to build a little isolated community, his own little world. And he was interested in certain sports, so he would give so much money that if you were interested in amateur wrestling and on the Olympic level and the World Championship level, he would be your patron.
Yeah.
And so he would take them in.
Okay.
He would have the gym, and he would let you live. If you were this good, he would let you live on the estate. And he's starting to unravel because he's got this little world of his own little fiefdom, and it's wonderfully portrayed. You know, scarily portrayed. This little slipping here and there, and then you're like this descent into madness, and to the point when he actually killed one of his wrestlers. He was a coach, and I forget. There were twin brothers who were in the Olympics, and they were gold medalists. And I forget if it was Mark Schultz or David Schultz. I want to say David was the one who got killed. But anyway, and it was amazing to see Steve Carell do this performance where you're like, this is believable. Because it's not a believable story, although it happened. It's believable when you see him do it. So Foxcatcher, which was the name of his farms. That's why it's used as the title. Yeah. And so that was the team name used it too. So Foxcatcher was probably my first one. The first one that came to mind for me. So a second pick would be another biopic of sorts, another athletic biopic, Battle of the Sexes. This movie, I think I know I said it, I picked it, and I said it when we did Emma Stone, thank you. And because of the cast and what they had to work with, I still feel this movie should have been better. The final product is good, but that's it. It's good. But the two portrayals of the two main characters and the two athletes, in this case, tennis pros, is excellent, phenomenal. And he portrays Bobby Riggs. And Bobby Riggs in real life is, he's a clown. He was a clown, and he would try to get you off your game by just being a clown, throwing you off, breaking your concentration, making you feel really at ease. But he's working his magic on your brain.
He was an amazing tennis player.
He was an amazing tennis player. Yeah. So you would forget this, and you'd start to fall into this trap. And then he was able to beat you. He'll build up enough lead, and you're like, why am I struggling against the 60-something-year-old man? He's, and that's kind of what he was doing. But I mean, he's been doing it as a 20 and a 30-year-old man too. But he was able to spin this little thing. So he's got this goofy sense of humor, and he would play that up. So, he would dress weird. He would kind of show up a little different. And Steve Carell really starts to look, when you watch the movie, he actually looks like him too. There's something about the teeth, a little bit of a buck tooth thing there.
Yeah, the way they do the hair,
glasses and the hair.
Yeah,
and
it just works. I like
it. Works, and I like the movie too. I think on paper you go, oh, this should have been a little better. I don't know what it is, but it should have. I think it could have been better. But so the movie's good, but it's the performance, and that's what we pick on our picks for our favorite performances, and this is one of mine, of Steve Carell's. Which leads me to the third pick, and it's difficult because Steve Carell's got this one comedy that's out there that is wonderful, and everybody will mention it, but it's like my number 4 on the list, so it doesn't quite make it.
So then what made number 3?
So number 3 is Little Miss Sunshine, where he plays Frank, and he's he played you in the movie. No, he plays a character named Frank, and this character in this weird, dysfunctional yet loving family, he has to rein. His character is much more sedate, and possibly because he may have been sedated at the beginning, because he just comes out of a home because he tried to commit suicide, and so he no longer is teaching. He's a professor. He's as we all are, Marcel Proust scholars.
Oh yeah.
So he's lost a little control over his life.
Get
and
that
his
Proust money.
And so he's been taken in by his sister's family, and it's just wonderful because he's like a little bit of the sounding board. Like he kind of helps. Well, he helps all of them. They all help each other. But I think he's good with the son, kind of as the son has to deal with his own problem that he finds out about.
Yeah.
He can't follow his dream because of color blindness to be a fighter pilot. And so because of Frank, Steve Carell's characters, failed love life, but now we're seeing another Proust scholar getting the MacArthur scholar. There's a lot of stuff came, and that's why he did it. But I love it because he's kind of juxtaposed against, Grandpa in the back and that uptight yet driven motivational speaker, brother-in-law, You know what I mean? There's all these things, and they're all sharing time in the house together. But then they're also sharing this time stuck in that VW bus, and it's kind of and things are bouncing off, and
it gets to the point where it's just like, okay, the failed academic, failed suicide is the most stable person in the room. Yeah, really, him and the little girl, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
it's and so there's a great little couple of scenes with the boy, the teenage nephew in his case, when it's his first night out of the home, the psych ward, and he's living. Right. He's been taken in, so it's the first night there, and it's just a regular, home. So it's not like rich people. It's just the space. So he has to share the room with his nephew, teenage nephew. It's the only place they can put him up. And at this point, the nephew is not Dwayne. He's not speaking. It's this. He's using this as this exercise and this sort of thing.
He's made a vow.
And so he writes out before he goes to bed. He says, like, "You're not going to do anything, are you?" And he shows it to his uncle, and he says, "No, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do that to you, not on your watch." Yeah. And I just like that one. Like, that's nice.
I may do it at some point, but I'm not going to lay it on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later, where he talks, where his nephew is now talking. He's past that point, so now he is talking, and he just by bouncing things off each other, he says, screw it. If I want to be a pilot, I'm going to find a way to do it. And they're just talking about stuff and it's just wonderful. So I love that Little Miss Sunshine performance by Steve Carell.
All right. Those are all really good where he acts.
Yeah, and it's funny because he's definitely got some noteworthy comedy.
Probably the most serious actor thing that I've chosen was Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah,
which is I
way
love
up
him.
On my list.
I love him. I love him in that.
Yes,
he's vulnerable and he's upset and he's trying to make a go at being single, and he's such a sad sack. You feel so bad for him. You really, really do. At every turn, he's just trying really hard because his life is just falling apart. And to see him try to, get some sort of control over something.
Yeah.
And that something is like dating other women. And, Ryan Gosling tries to help him out a little bit. But it's great because it's, you sort of see that that's probably, I think, aside from, of my three, this is the most real character.
Yes.
So that's my kind of favorite of his real.
Yeah, I love that movie.
So going over to the less real, 40-Year-Old Virgin. I know that's the one you were referring to.
That was the one I was.
It's a really interesting story. It's so good, and it runs the gamut from just really, really touching scenes to just, okay, this is just like, frat boy humor kind of
with the silly supporting cast.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but when he does finally, starts to build this relationship, it really turns into a nice.
It's a rom-com.
It really is. It really, I would even say in that sense, I'd call it a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
And it's an odd coming of age story.
Yeah.
For a guy
slightly
for
delayed.
40, yeah, definitely. So, but it is really interesting where his early sexual experiences didn't go well, and then it just sort of scared him into sort of holding back, and then it just never happened. It's just really interesting. Yeah. So, and in that sense, I think that sort of grounded some of the crazy, comedic stuff that they do.
Yeah.
When he gets waxed and just.
Because it is telling this story.
Yeah.
That for
and
him
it's a touching story.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So I really like that. And then I really like his I really like his portrayal of Michael Scott on The Office. They did like the first couple of seasons with that. I really didn't like Michael Scott because like there were just way too many scenes where it was just so cringy. Like, this is so embarrassing. Stop talking. This is so bad.
Yeah.
But then they changed it a little bit and they made Michael a little bit more sympathetic. And you learned that did you watch the whole series?
No.
So
I seen some, but no. I didn't
really good. And they give him an opportunity. You know, you get some depth to Michael, that he really just wants to be, you know, to have that circle of friends and to have a family. And for and that's like, for Michael's story in that show, when he finally gets that, it's just so, seriously, it makes you cry. It is it's the nicest series ending for a character that I've ever seen. It really is great. When you look at the pilot and then you look at, you know, 9 seasons later, where they finish with Michael. Well, he finishes a little bit early, but when he shows up at the end and he's happy and he's got a family, he's got, you know, 2 cell phones worth of, like, you know, pictures of his kids. It's just so damn beautiful. And they ended up letting Michael Scott be the character that you end up being happy for when he gets what he wants. So, and I thought it was so great. They did such a nice job of transitioning him from someone that you wanted to strangle and just like, oh, Michael, shut up, just shut up. To someone that you really kind of, you know, you root for when he's, you know, falling in love and he's, you know, getting that life that he wants. So that's my Steve Carell. So.
I think he's a very talented actor.
Totally, yeah. It'll be fun to see what he'll do next. One of my favorite movies with him is Date Night with Tina Fey. Yeah, and I've always called that. It's like, oh, this is when Michael Scott gets married to Liz Lemon, and this is their life together, because that's exactly it. They're so good, and they're both brilliant comedians. So really, really, really fun. So
you asked a question.
I did, yeah. Your favorite Star Wars planet. So if you're not a big, huge nerd, you can go now if you made it this far. So.
Yeah, there's obviously many universes we've seen, planets
shows,
we've seen through all of that entire universe, and I mean the movie universe of their universe. So many to pick from, so many to consider. Mustafar is right off the board. I'm not going to move there at all. No. I don't deal well with... But it's a dry heat. It's a dry heat, yeah. I don't deal well with the magma and the lava flow. I just don't do it.
There's nowhere to park.
Yeah, about it.
And if you do park somewhere, the lava might come.
Yeah. Was my tow car... Was
my
car?
Yeah, nice.
Was my car towed?
Damn. Yeah. No matter how many rehearsals we do, he still gets it around.
Well, if you look at the cue card,
I know,
thank you, Corky.
Corky, God, asleep again.
So I'm going to say, Cloud City on Bespin.
Okay.
And the reason is this. When you see the planet, it's got this beautiful veneer of all these beautiful people wearing beautiful clothes, walking around up in the clouds, and it's just like everybody. Oh, it's wonderful, and then these long hallways, and the outside looks so beautiful, and everything is wonderful. And then you see though that they still have those like ugly little Ugnaughts who are under the ground doing all the grimy work, and it's like, that's fine. You keep them there, and we'll be up here in our flowing gowns.
That's just mirrors the rest of society. So the real society. So mine would probably
you truly belong up here in the clouds. Oh, good one, Lando.
Yeah, that's his line. I just like that in Cloud City. There's just along the hallways somewhere, there's just a little door with a microphone where you can address everybody in the city. And it didn't look like there was any code he punched in. So like everybody used to be like, hey, did I leave the iron on? Could someone go take a look? You just address everybody.
This is your administrator.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just talk to everybody and then everyone's going to have to hear me.
Hey, it's Dave. I just had the best burger. Anyway,
right.
My favorite would be Coruscant because the entire planet is the city. And it's just like, oh, things are flying up here. All these different levels. And I just really dig that because there's so much possibility for so much storytelling there. You could do an entire series like that has nothing to do with Jedi or politics or anything like that. Just, boom, just right there. And you can have a whole thing. There's so much potential.
The other thing about Coruscant is like you get the feeling through watching a lot of the different things, whether it's the animated series and stuff, where you get a feeling that there are classes.
Oh yeah, they totally
are. Classes of people who like again with the novels. No, they're like classes of people that you feel may never have had the opportunity to come out from whatever strata they're in.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like you're like some of these people haven't seen the light of day yet. They're toiling down there, and you're like
in the novels. One of the
again with the whole literacy thing. Yeah. Okay, I can't read.
One of the Thrawn novels, you're following this sort of minor politician around, and she talks about kind of like where she is and what level she is in and what district she's in and all that kind of stuff. So it's a whole social strata. So let's open the bucket. I mean, the bucket's open. I'm doing my Chuck Berry.
You got it.
Chuck Barris. My Chuck Berry is
he's
not as
he's duck walking across the stage with Chuck Barris is just
Chuck Barris. Is he still alive or is he dead?
Good question. I don't know. I know Gene, the dancing machine, is dead.
Yeah, he's dead. So anyway.
Very good.
All right, cool. All right, folks. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Take care.